Truth Warriors, Magnificent Seven. How are you doing in this now?
Greetings, Mother. How are you?
Well, fair to Midland, the gift keeps on giving.
Yeah, it does.
It is the event. I am in my official capacity as Commander in Chief Sinil Etheric of the United Federation of Planets Republic. And with me is my part of my team, Commander Nazi and Commander Sananda.
Mhm.
Well, we have been engaging the enemy. It seems how we work, there's information that we cannot have in our conscious mind until it is time. And we heard and we've been running missions and sting operations and busting their chops.
Hmm.
Uh, we have broken them down. The deep state is down. Now this is these are these minions. These are these ones that are the contamination. These are the Borg contaminated, assimilated entities that we call vampirics. Uh, originally broke into the simulator. It fractalized and it took bodies. These ones have been trapped in these bodies for a long time. Nazi, what is the average?
The average number of cycles I was getting was between 25,000 to 800,000.
Whew. And like I said, they have been hopping bodies, but they've been trapped in these bodies for some time. And I won't get into deep, but we call this. This is the. I'm gonna give you a slideshow, and then we're gonna go. I took some digitals. I'm talking to these are the NFL owners
Right.
that we pull their pictures from the internet, and you can do the same and do your due diligence. But we have already identified they're all vampirics, and been engaging in satanic ritual murder of our babies.
Right.
They've been running this NFL franchises, um, distracting us. Basically, their games were already fixed. They didn't leave anything to chance because it was all about making a buck and staying in power and enjoying the high life. They were completely owned by this the core entity that we call Demerge. Many of these females are actually male entities. All of they have no souls. They're all black goo. I'm looking at their bodies, their what would have been a soul, and it's just a oozing black goo. It doesn't even have a shape. Because like us, you could see our etheric body, and we would have a form that looks, we'd have a form that would look similar to our form.
Right.
They're just black gook.
Hmm.
Um, Infinite karmic debt. They've been torturing, raping, and killing our beings.
Right.
Mhm.
And some of them is obvious, you know. And we're just looking through these now. We've been taking them down as they began their Super Bowl ritual. Normally, they would have taken out someone that all of you idolize to generate the loosh as they manifest their spell. Um, they would take children, like I said, they would bring in. Many of them are coming from South America mainly. The Latino, the Spanish, these are the ones that they indoctrinated into the religion,
Right.
and they have lots of children, and that was their main staple. Then they created the atmosphere, of calling them illegal aliens, to further put them in a situation where where they were in fear, and they would not complain or retaliate. And also they kept them under control through the religious indoctrination, and that's where
Yes.
the Pope came into play.
Uh, yes, mother.
The Vatican City, they should have just called it Vampire City,
Mm-hmm.
because that's all that was there. All of them were vampirics, and they were different species of
Species.
vampirics. I was getting, we had the long-headed ones. They call the
The Homo.
Sananda. What are they called?
Homo capensis.
Karen Hoodis. Karen Hoodis, very accredited. And was a whistleblower blower and attorney for the World Bank. Alluded to those ones that they were being housed, at Vatican City.
Right.
Their remains of these vampirics are strewn all over the training simulator
Mm-hmm.
because they were an infection, extremely vicious. We had things called zool, and the zools were the six-legged. They looked like almost like a werewolf or a dog or
Yeah.
canine-like looking, and they have these teeth and claws, and they could
Mm-hmm.
run sideways and leap. And I fought them things, and they
Right.
were mainly being housed with NASA. NASA was contaminated with Zool. Zool was in body. See, so it would be the physical form, and then uh, their actual form, would be cloaked,
Cloaked.
or
Right. Right.
it'd be residing on what we call the fourth. Just educating you. So we've been tearing down their network. They had a network where they were procuring the children, and they had what we call the coyotes, that would bring them in
Bring them
by
in.
truck. Uh, they had mercenaries or whatever you want to call them that would procure the children, and they would,
Right.
were bringing them, and they had them in the cages. They were bringing them in underground. They had a complete network, a rail system underground. Their buildings, their bases and whatnot. You'd have the top level that you could see, and then it would be 200 plus levels down deep into the simulator,
Yes, mother.
and they
Confirm.
were all interconnected, and they all could go to NASA, and they go to Notre Dame, and they could go
Vatican.
to the Vatican City. They were doing this under they could go under the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I
Confirm.
kid you not. We had Denver, Colorado. That stuff is stinking and rotten to the core.
Mm.
Mossad was housed in Denver airport. Israel, all up in the mix.
Yes, mother.
UK, the Royals, Vampirics, they own the corporations. United States Incorporated was actually owned by the Vatican, aka
Yes.
UK. They had all these different fronts, and they were hiding behind their religion.
Religion.
Now,
Yes.
these things they were killing our kids daily. And then when they would go into their Super Bowl ritual, then they'd really amp it up. And they were, bringing in male and female. I guess you could see, the sex trade. You got
Right.
CPS in the mix. Excuse me. They had the court system where they were taking these children away from their parents. You know, you had the police going and implanting, uh, raiding them and planting drugs on them and taking their kids.
Right.
Having their kids taken away. You had ones that were, yes, using drugs and whatnot, but they were doing anything and every way they could think of to get children, creating wars, causing orphanages, setting up orphanages. They in Canada, or of course, and there were other places, but they had the schools that they forced the indigenous people to put their children in. We have mass graves all over the all over this planet ship.
Yes,
On the
mother.
ground looks like an apocalypse, and it is our babies. Now, we're not having it. They're not going to be partying right now. They're shaking in their boots. Aren't you, skanks?
Hmm.
Don't know which way to run.
And I'm going to go to my other, um, and this is the digital while we're talking. Now, they've been busy stalking us, and these are the digitals, and we don't know how they're going to look, but
Right.
these are the digitals of these owners. And I have trained you well, and you also make no mistake, you bloodthirsty baby raping skanks, you ones. We've got you in living color. Now here's one supposed to be an owner, but we identified the record. This is a male. Is it born
Uh,
male?
Operation. Could you pull the file on this one?
And I told them that I was going to expose them to the whole entire world.
Was it
I got this one was born male,
Yes.
which is neither here nor there as far as there are many,
yes,
many,
confirmed
many here that are they were put in the wrong body.
body?
They were a female being that was put in a male body. It was done intentionally to cause them pain.
Yes, mother.
But these, and you will say this: these ones, they all were used, but they're considered what we call the undead because they need hemoglobin. Like I said, they do the ritualistic sacrifice.
Hmm.
Many of them enjoy it. They enjoy killing our kids. They enjoy torturing them. They enjoy raping them. You put that in your pipe. Super Bowl leaves a very bad taste in my mouth, and we're just flipping through.
Mm.
They've been stalking us. Our Patreon. They stalked our YouTube channels. As you can see, we were being shut down. They completely shut down my channel. I had a YouTube
Right.
channel I had since 2018.
Hmm.
Um, they currently stalking my stalking anything that we have, Facebook, Instagram, you name
Instagram.
it.
Right.
You know, attempting to stop us from exposing the truth about them. But
Right.
what these ones don't get, you don't get. You've been recorded, all of it, because you're in a virtual reality. You didn't know that because who was running you? You didn't know who was running you. Look in your eyes.
Right.
Well, now all you see is Father and I, you once. Now, you had an opportunity Could have maybe could have got some help, but your intent. You ones are in so deep, and I'm telling you again, we don't arrest creatures
No. Mm-mm.
because you put your hands on our kids. Those are all fractals. Those kids are all my fractals, my isness. So what you did to them, you did to me. It is absolutely unequivocally personal. I told you not to put your nasty hands on my kids. Now you are trapped in those bodies. You have not been able to hop bodies for some time. Now you've been ingesting my blood. When you killed my babies, you were infected with the antivirus. I am pure, 100% crystalline antivirus. Now, the crystalline beings we call the Zetas are multiplying. They have multiplied in your bodies. And they're reading your intent. It was necessary because your minions numbered in the trillions. And I was adamant that the only way I was going to be able to take you down was to infect you to your core. Mission accomplished. And all I've been doing right now in this now is playing with you skanks. I'm one mad mother. I was shown what you did, what you've been doing to my creations. You are going to feel my wrath. Do you hear me? You low down, vampiric, bloodthirsty creatures, you. I've taken all your assets as you once. See, when you do things to kids, you violate the moral code, and your avatars have been recording you. So we've got everything that you have done, every single bit of it. This is a ghoul right here. This is quite nasty. We have it all on record. You will not feed. You want to ask who were the ones that they were going to sacrifice that we prevented them from taking them out? Nazi, check with operations if it's authorized to reveal the ones that they were going to
Operation.
sacrifice.
Is it authorized that this can be revealed? This intel. I'm getting no.
Okay,
I got no.
no
Confirm.
problem. It'll come out later,
Yes. Confirm.
and we're just looking. Our brigades are hunting. We're going to make sure that we destroy all the surface contamination. We have places that are so contaminated. There's nothing but creatures.
Right.
We've got it all on lock. Now we're coming for you once. These pictures I'm getting are already changing. They're going to show exactly what's there. And these ones are looking just like the UK vampirics, and well, the other ones,
Oh,
the NASA's
The NASA's and
and the
the.
Lockheed's.
Mhm.
The list goes on and on because we were contaminated with these ones and positions of power. And I'm getting that all these templates go back to the Rothschild template, vampiric. Um, and then you have Israel.
Confirm. Yes.
Um, the entity was sitting up under Jerusalem.
mhm. Yep.
And all those ones
Sure
were
was.
contaminated. And then it goes to then you have all the ones that in New York
Mhm. Confirm.
and other places, but we had a high concentration of it in New York. And what did they do? Didn't they do take down the World Trade Center
Yes. Confirm.
and then proceeded to go after Iraq? There were things in Iraq that they wanted. Everything they do was methodical.
Mm. Yes, mother.
Hmm. There's father sitting on top of his hat right there.
Yes. Confirm. Yes.
And then you'll see there's others. See, they're
Mhm.
coming into Zetas.
Right. These Zetas.
We have had them encased in these orbs and also preventing them from body hopping. And he is definitely deteriorating. He's
Wow.
uncloaked. That's a nasty mess there.
Mhm.
Entities everywhere. Jeez.
Here's this one I did a close up.
Wow.
She's already shifting, looking at her throat. And we've been using the mojos. This is very obvious. This is a male.
The eyebrows. Yes.
Just molding. Another thing, they don't allow any females to have any type of power. It'll always either be a male
Confirm.
entity or it's dressing as a female, but it's male.
Mhm. Yes.
And this is just the truth. We are required to consciously post the truth.
Yes,
And that
mother.
is why they were so hot and heavy attempting to shut us down.
Confirm.
Many of you will know the names of these. You've been, and then you got the players. We hadn't even started on the coaches.
Mm-mm. This is just the owners.
You pull up the coaches and snap their digital pictures and look at them. Snip their pictures. Not that you need to, uh, because I've looked at the coaches before and just disgusting. And it's the whole families of these vampirics. Everybody in the family is contaminated. In order for it to keep it, that's what they do. Now they might have distant relatives or whatnot that may not be contaminated, but our focus right now is on these ones because they do this year round, but they really get busy with it in their Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl, right?
And like I said, you'd have the vampiric Pope
Mm-hmm.
and all those ones, and then your entertainment industry was contaminated with vampirics and werewolves and things that go bump in the night. And,
Wow.
they were just having one big party. This family is really disgusting. What I
Wow.
did was I took each one of them's picture, so it could get close up. And what you're seeing also is what is that embossing? I'm getting that because this is holographic. Our These might not necessarily be negative beings. It's just be that it's a hologram, and the stadium or the Zetas, are bleeding through where you see them, and you can
Confirm.
see you can see
Yeah.
how we have them encased in the
Mm-hmm.
orbs.
Right.
As we've been educating you, and you all have learned well. This one here, very desperate. You ought to, something. Anybody got a haircut like that? That looked like somebody took a bowl and just stuck it on his head and then just went around. How you gonna have money and you walking around looking like that? You definitely are a creature.
Jolly orange
This
giant.
Yes. Right.
this slimy one, I don't see him. I see him encased in a pod, and his avatar has ceased to function.
Confirm operations. His status no longer exists.
You know what? Please, this is definitely a man. Cruella,
I'm sorry.
skank, dang near fangs coming out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a man.
Head full of snakes.
A woe man.
Yeah. Wow.
These things. Here's another one.
Okay. Mm. Mm-mm.
Now, what it is this one is a female body with a male entity. It had an entity.
Right. Yes, mother.
Man, these pictures are changing. I'm getting. I see these Zetas.
Yeah, I see them
They're
too.
coming up. Yeah, they're coming up on the picture. And now what we've done is um, we've tricked them into ingesting my blood. They thought they had stolen, and they made a serum, and they were partying, and it made them feel
Mm.
good. And we let that illusion play out for a minute, make sure that we contaminated them all.
Yes.
And they were taking our kids, killing our kids, and ingesting their blood and whatever. And our kids were all they were all my fractals, and therefore they were infected that way too. And I'd been at it for quite some time.
Yes, mother.
And their thought process is that some kind of way they didn't barged in here, and they think that this is their domain.
Right.
Ha!
Mm.
How's that working, skanks? Here's another dude.
Mhm.
How they would paint this illusion. So you're thinking this is a female. There were many that would entrust their kids to be around them more so than they would
A male.
a male, like the nuns in the Catholic faith,
Mhm.
assimilated entities. And some of them were openly nasty. How they
Right.
would beat on those kids, abuse them, and whatnot. And they were into this molesting because that's how they would steal energy because that's traumatizing.
Yes.
We're just getting a look. So we're just educating you that in this now we are currently on the hunt. This is the event. This is the final takedown of these entities, and we're not interested in arresting them.
No, we're not.
We're terminating them wherever we find them. Now this is just straight up dark.
Can see it. Just oozing out of its
Out of
pores.
his pores.
Mhm.
That's really all I had. NFL Vampiric skanks you and your minions. And you football players that were not aware, your best bet is to run like as fast as you can to the FBI for some help or not. Because if you co-sign this stuff, and that goes for anybody else out there,
Mhm.
as far as we're concerned, you're no different than those creatures. Do you understand? And we're not messing around because these skanks were going up and breaking into people's houses and stealing their babies,
Babies.
stalking them when they're leaving the hospital after the mother that had her baby, and they come home and then they case them out and then went after their kid, their newborn. What the F? We got reports of them rolling up on people, uh, jacking their babies out of their cars,
Cars.
uh,
Right.
at the grocery store, you name it, just going berserk. And this crap is going down. Was going down all over this trading simulator.
Yes, mother.
Desperate in their desperation because we had destroyed their underground bases. We have destroyed their lairs. We've been closing in. They also had the prostitution that they had doing the sex trade, all that. So they were bringing in these women, young girls,
Mhm.
young males too, because they go both
Right.
ways.
Right.
Hmm. And with the religion as was they were using as the mind control. Don't you remember? What did they say? Be fruitful and multiply.
Multiply.
You read the secret covenant. We're still looking for that 40-page manifesto that was posted on the NASA website. But the deep state is down and out for the count. And I'm gonna let you skanks know. You think you did something, shooting me with your little raggedy scalar weapons? Huh! I pick my teeth with your raggedy scalar weapons. Back at you, but bring it, because this is about our babies. And I absolutely mean business. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Don't you see those icicles hanging off of those ice plates? The feline in me. I'm very, very, very patient. Tippy, tippy, tippy paws, bitches. Haka, boom, bye. Haka, boom, bye. Expect us in transmission.